The reason? Yes, again, Amtrak's Portal Bridge.
Let's face it, this isn't the first time for all the Northeast Corridor riders. Built in 1910, the Portal Bridge was an engineering feat of its time. But today, it's one of the most notorious bottlenecks in the region's rail system. Its low-clearance swing design means it must frequently open for river traffic. And when it does, train schedules are at the mercy of century-old mechanics and human improvisation. That's exactly why the new Portal North Bridge is seen as a monumental leap forward, and it is now in the final stages of completion. Backed by federal and state funding, this $2.2 billion new Portal North Bridge is a landmark investment in U.S. rail infrastructure. But will it fix one of the Northeast Corridor's worst bottlenecks? And how will it reshape the future of train travel? Let's break it down. But first, we need your support. This is our new railway channel, and we're on the road to 2,000 subscribers. If you love rail infrastructure and transit updates, hit subscribe to stay informed. Your support keeps this going. Thank you. The Portal North Bridge project is a critical infrastructure investment to eliminate one of the NEC most notorious bottlenecks, the 115-year-old Portal Bridge. The existing Portal Bridge, constructed in 1910 by the Pennsylvania Railroad, has long been a point of failure for Amtrak and NJ transit operations. Designed as a movable swing bridge, it must open for maritime traffic, a process that frequently leads to mechanical failures and service disruptions. Before the pandemic, this bridge carried over 450 daily Amtrak and NJ transit trains. It served nearly 200,000 passengers per day. Its outdated infrastructure poses a major constraint on one of the nation's most critical transportation corridors, which links Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, and Boston. To resolve these long-standing issues, the Portal North Bridge is being constructed as a high-level, fixed-span structure rising over 50 feet above the river, eliminating the need for openings. The new bridge spans nearly 2.5 miles, including approach tracks, and features a network-tied arch design, an uncommon but efficient engineering approach in U.S. rail infrastructure. This modern design will allow for higher operating speeds, improved reliability, and increased train capacity, addressing a critical NEC choke point. The Portal North Bridge project has made significant strides since construction commenced on August 1, 2022, following final approval and the notice to proceed in April 2022. By May 2024, Amtrak and NJ Transit proudly marked the 50% completion milestone. As of fall 2024, the project is at 70% completion, with major structural components now in place. One of the standout achievements was the installation of the first of 3 structural steel arches in November 2024, a highly intricate engineering feat that involved careful barge transport and precision placement. The final arch was successfully installed in February 2025, solidifying the core structure of the bridge. As of early 2025, the project is 80% complete, with the first track expected to open in March 2026, enabling limited operations while additional work continues. The second track is set for completion in February 2027, with full integration into the NEC anticipated by late 2027. Once operational, the existing Portal Bridge will be dismantled in July 2028, completing the transition to the new structure. Notably, Amtrak has indicated that the project could be completed on time and within budget, emphasizing efficient project management and strong coordination between federal and state agencies. The $2.2 billion Portal North Bridge project is a model of collaborative funding, drawing support from federal, state, and regional sources. Securing financial backing was a multi-year effort, reflecting the project's scale and complexity. In January 2021, New Jersey Transit finalized a full funding grant agreement with the Federal Transit Administration, FTA, securing $766.5 million through the Capital Investment Grant Program. This followed a medium-high rating from the FTA in 2020, which positioned the project for significant federal investment. New Jersey has committed $811 million, including $600 million from state-backed bonds and additional funding from the New Jersey Transportation Trust Fund. Amtrak has allocated nearly $262 million, while the Federal Highway Administration contributed $57 million. Earlier funding sources include a $55 million Federal Railroad Administration grant in May 2020 and a $16 million grant in 2015 for preparatory work. The Port Authority of New York and New Jersey also pledged $300 million in earlier phases, reinforcing regional commitment to the project. While Portal North remains a two-track structure, its design accommodates a future Portal South bridge, which could double its capacity to 4 tracks. This expansion aligns with the Gateway program's long-term vision, enabling NJ Transit and Amtrak to double train service between Newark and New York. Once additional infrastructure improvements, including the Hudson Tunnel project, are completed, the increased capacity will benefit commuters, intercity travelers, and freight operators, strengthening the Northeast Corridor, a corridor responsible for 20% of U.S. GDP. Construction has already generated approximately 15,000 jobs, injecting billions into the regional economy. Once operational, the bridge is expected to boost property values, attract businesses. Environmental benefits include lower emissions and reduced train idling, contributing to broader sustainability goals. So what were some challenges the project faced? Despite its steady progress, the Portal North Bridge project has encountered several challenges, particularly in funding and construction logistics. Initial plans for 2 parallel bridges were reduced to a single structure following the 2010 cancellation of the Access to the Region's Core project, leaving the proposed Portal South Bridge unfunded as of 2025. Construction logistics present ongoing hurdles. The bridge's location over the Hackensack River and within the densely trafficked Northeast Corridor requires meticulous coordination to avoid service disruptions. The Amtrak Office of Inspector General noted in May 2024 that staffing shortages and information sharing discrepancies with NJ Transit posed risks, though these have since been mitigated. The project faces a series of formidable challenges that demand precise coordination and seamless execution. The construction of the Portal North Bridge required deep foundation work to ensure stability. Large steel shafts, measuring 8 to 10 feet wide, were drilled 160 feet into solid rock. The Skanska Trailer Joint Venture, the project's contractor, used specialized equipment, including heavy-duty cranes and drilling machines, to complete this process. To confirm the strength and safety of the foundation, engineers conducted detailed inspections using advanced scanning tools and cameras. Most of this work took place on temporary platforms near live train tracks and high-voltage power lines, making precision and safety a top priority. Moreover, the route cuts through treacherous marshlands, presenting a unique set of challenges that test the limits of traditional construction methods. With limited access and a delicate ecosystem to preserve, engineers have had to get innovative and resourceful. To navigate these obstacles, the project has seen the completion of 4 work trestles, spanning an impressive 3,400 feet, an engineering feat in itself. 2 of these trestles remain in place, serving dual purposes. One will be transformed into a permanent fishing pier, adding a community benefit, while the other will provide maintenance access and lay the foundation for a future bike trail. Add to that the complexity of managing catenary structures, critical to maintaining rail power, and the need to operate within an active rail corridor, and the scale of the task becomes clear. To rise to these challenges, the project has leveraged cutting-edge technologies. From automated crane swing limiters that guarantee safety during heavy lifting, to engineered fill that strengthens the foundation, these advanced tools allow the team to push forward with minimal disruption to rail operations while maintaining the highest standards of safety and efficiency. This complex and environmentally sensitive route demands not just advanced construction techniques, but also careful coordination and planning, making it one of the project's most formidable hurdles. Political and bureaucratic challenges significantly influence the Portal North Bridge project's progress. While President Biden championed infrastructure investments, stating that the new bridge would eliminate long-standing delays and improve reliability, funding uncertainties in previous administrations created setbacks. Under President Trump, federal spending cuts and project freezes raised concerns among transportation officials as large rail projects rely heavily on long-term federal commitments. The administration's reluctance to fund NEC improvements stalled progress until Governor Murphy secured critical federal support in 2020. Looking ahead, one of the biggest challenges will be managing Amtrak's workforce capacity. With multiple major projects underway, ensuring that Portal North remains on schedule without workforce shortages will require careful coordination. What about the Gateway project? The $16 billion Gateway program, now under construction, includes plans for new tunnels that will ultimately connect to the Portal North Bridge. Several related projects remain in the design and engineering phases, with progress dependent on securing additional federal funding to supplement contributions from New York, New Jersey, and Amtrak. While the Trump administration faced criticism for delaying the Gateway Tunnel project due to political conflicts with then Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, it did approve the Portal North Bridge in 2020. CEO and president of NJ Transit emphasized the project's bipartisan support, noting that Trump initially backed it. He also suggested that once the bridge is complete, the president should take credit for its success, acknowledging his role in advancing the project. So, what do you think? Will the Portal North Bridge and the Gateway program be enough to solve the NEC's chronic delays, or is even more investment needed? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
I hope this project will one day translate to greater access for thousands of other Americans seeking their individual pathways to freedom.
Amtrak's $6 billion Frederick Douglass Tunnel program is finally underway. For years, the crumbling old tunnel in Baltimore has slowed trains to a crawl, creating one of the worst bottlenecks on the NEC. Now, a replacement plan promises faster trains, increased reliability, and modernized infrastructure. Backed by stakeholders, this project marks a major investment in American rail. But can it truly fix the aging infrastructure choking this corridor? And what will it mean for riders, communities, and the region's economy? Let's break it down. Opened in 1873, when Ulysses S. Grant was president, the Baltimore and Potomac Tunnel is the oldest tunnel in Amtrak's network and a critical link on the Northeast Corridor, connecting Baltimore's Penn Station to Washington, D.C. and beyond. Every day, nearly 750,000 Amtrak and commuter customers travel on the NEC, and around 6 million Amtrak passengers per year rely on travel through this tunnel alone. Originally designed for 19th century trains, the 1.4-mile tunnel now presents major challenges for the 14 million Amtrak and MARC riders who depend on it annually. Its aging structure suffers from water infiltration, a sinking floor, and outdated design features like tight curves and low clearances, which force trains to slow down to just 30 miles per hour. A particularly sharp curve inside the tunnel is a key contributor to this slowdown. These physical constraints create one of the worst bottlenecks in the entire NEC. In fact, 4 tracks are reduced to just 2 inside the B&P tunnel, limiting capacity and causing frequent delays. This chronic congestion impacts over 10% of weekday trains and occurs on nearly 99% of weekdays. Moreover, the tunnel's outdated design prevents the installation of modern fire and life safety systems. Because the B&P tunnel is a single tube, any maintenance work on one track requires shutting down both tracks, effectively halting all train movement through the tunnel, affecting more than 19,000 daily commuters and disrupting national rail connectivity. Amtrak crews currently conduct intensive, costly maintenance to manage issues like deteriorating masonry and water infiltration. Rail teams inspect the tunnel multiple times each week just to keep it safely operational. Yet, these stopgap efforts can only go so far. According to the Federal Railroad Administration, FRA, the B&P tunnel is one of the most serious infrastructure vulnerabilities on the Northeast Corridor. Amtrak's Frederick Douglass Tunnel program will resolve these challenges. The program, named in honor of a Maryland native, abolitionist, and frequent railroad passenger who seeks to modernize the corridor, enhance connectivity, and bring lasting benefits to the Baltimore region. Representing Amtrak's largest single project to date, in partnership with the state of Maryland. With a total investment of approximately $6 billion, the new system includes a brand new tunnel with 4 tracks and full electrification, eliminating the need for diesel-powered locomotives and greatly reducing emissions. Amtrak and Maryland are also working to fully electrify the Penn line, which will allow for even faster, cleaner service throughout the corridor. The program delivers a wide array of benefits that extend far beyond immediate infrastructure upgrades, reaching communities, regional economies, and environmental goals across the Northeast Corridor. On the performance side, this new tunnel will dramatically cut travel time between downtown Baltimore and Washington, D.C., reducing MARC train trips to as little as 22 minutes, down from current averages of 40+. The program is expected to eliminate nearly 7 hours of train delays on an average weekday and save rail customers around 450,000 hours annually. This improved reliability and speed is projected to spark significant ridership growth, drawing more travelers back to rail with a smoother, faster experience. For the economic benefits, the construction phase alone is expected to generate 30,000 jobs, including roughly 20,000 direct construction jobs, most of which do not require a college degree, creating a major pathway for skilled trades and union labor. But the opportunity doesn't stop at construction. The project will also open the door to new contracts for local businesses and suppliers, especially minority and women-owned firms, creating a ripple effect of economic growth throughout Baltimore and the greater region. Environmentally, this is a major step forward. The move to electrified high-speed rail will provide a low-emissions alternative to cars and short-haul flights, aligning with national climate goals and helping to reduce the carbon footprint of regional transportation. Locally, Amtrak's $50 million community investment program reflects a broader commitment to equity and inclusion. Funds are being directed into workforce training, youth programs, parks and recreation, and neighborhood revitalization in historically underserved communities such as Reservoir Hill and Sandtown, Winchester. Amtrak has also responded to community feedback and concerns, especially after a civil rights complaint in 2023, by improving transparency, expanding public engagement, and updating its community benefits agreement. Since March 2024, the agency has hosted bi-monthly public meetings to hear directly from residents and ensure the project reflects community needs and priorities. Ultimately, the Frederick Douglass Tunnel program isn't just about faster trains. It's about creating a more accessible, connected, and sustainable future for Baltimore and the entire Northeast Corridor. The Frederick Douglass Tunnel program is being rolled out in a phased, multi-year construction plan running from 2023 through 2035. This long-term approach allows Amtrak and its partners to coordinate a massive infrastructure upgrade while minimizing disruptions on the Northeast Corridor, one of the busiest rail corridors in the country. The program began in 2023 with early construction work focused on clearing the path, literally and figuratively, for what's to come. This included site preparations, utility relocation, and upgrades to existing access routes. At the same time, Amtrak launched its final design phase, converting decades of planning and engineering studies into detailed, construction-ready plans. Critical to this phase was also property acquisition, as Amtrak secured necessary land and underground rights to make space for the new tunnel, bridges, and stations. Once the groundwork was in place, crews moved into utility relocation and demolition. These steps cleared the path for full-scale construction to begin. With the site prepared, major construction is now underway. This centerpiece phase includes building 2 brand new tunnel tubes, each approximately 2 miles long, specifically designed for high-speed electrified Amtrak and MARC passenger trains. Alongside tunnel construction, the program involves the replacement of aging roadway and railroad bridges, as well as the installation of new rail systems, modern tracks, and supporting infrastructure. A key improvement is the implementation of modern fire and life safety systems, addressing critical deficiencies in the existing tunnel, which lacks such protections, thereby boosting safety and reliability for millions of passengers. Amtrak anticipates phased system integration and tunnel boring to begin in 2025, with full completion targeted for 2035. Another key milestone within the program is the complete rebuild of the West Baltimore MARC station. This new station will offer a better passenger experience while ensuring accessibility for all riders, a significant win for equity and inclusion. By the early 2030s, work will begin to wind down as crews shift their focus toward final integration, testing, and commissioning of the new systems. The new West Baltimore MARC station will open to the public first, followed by the long-anticipated debut of the Frederick Douglass Tunnel itself. Once complete, riders will benefit from a safer, more efficient, and electrified rail experience, one that is faster, cleaner, and built for the 21st century. The tunnel program is estimated to cost $6 billion, with funding secured through multiple sources. Up to $4.7 billion from infrastructure investment and Jobs Act FRA discretionary grants, awarded in fiscal year 22 to 23. Contributions $1.2 billion from Amtrak and the Maryland Department of Transportation, ensuring a collaborative funding model. In a notable shift toward modern project delivery, Amtrak introduced its first-ever delivery partner model in April 2024. The advanced team was selected to share in project risk and provide oversight across design, construction, and contract administration. This program faces substantial challenges, including early-stage planning and governance shortfalls to ongoing community concerns, and the inherent complexity of large-scale infrastructure delivery. A comprehensive review by the Amtrak Office of Inspector General, OIG, in October 2024, showing the deficiencies in Amtrak's project readiness. The report highlighted that Amtrak had not completed essential planning activities, including risk management, scheduling, and documentation protocols, even as major construction activities were imminent. These planning gaps could elevate the risk of delays and cost overruns. Organizational capacity has been a key constraint. When the Capital Delivery Department assumed control of the program in 2022, staffing consisted of a single program manager. By late 2023, the team expanded to 7, including an assistant vice president, yet 5 members reported being overwhelmed. Furthermore, the onboarding of the selected delivery partner was delayed by over a year, postponing the establishment of a robust management framework intended to oversee contract integration, design coordination, and risk mitigation. Funding coordination adds another layer of complexity. Administering this multi-source funding stream across federal, state, and local stakeholders requires continuous interagency coordination and fiscal accountability, particularly given the evolving project scope and inflationary pressures in the construction sector. Equally critical are the concerns voiced by communities directly impacted by the project. Civil rights complaint was filed with the U.S. Department of Transportation by residents of West Baltimore, including the Reservoir Hill neighborhood. The complaint challenges Amtrak's plan to acquire over 10 acres of surface and subterranean property rights for tunnel construction, raising fears about property devaluation and long-term impacts on predominantly Black and low-income communities. Amtrak has responded with a series of bi-monthly public engagement sessions as part of its community investment program. These meetings aim to improve transparency and solicit local input, yet many residents continue to express skepticism regarding the project's equity implications. The challenge ahead lies in balancing regional infrastructure goals with local community interests, particularly in historically underserved neighborhoods such as Sandtown Winchester and Reservoir Hill. From an engineering and construction standpoint, the program's scope is technically complex. It entails complex upgrades, so these efforts must be carefully sequenced and delivered within the constraints of active rail operations on a corridor that hosts more than 2,200 trains per day. Any misalignment between planning, execution, and interagency cooperation could trigger delays. Given the scale of investment and the ambitious benefits, is the Frederick Douglass Tunnel program truly worth it? The potential is clear, but the challenges remain significant, from early planning shortfalls to community concerns and complex project delivery. So the real question is this: can the project ultimately deliver on its promise of transforming rail travel in the Northeast Corridor? Or is it still too early to say with confidence? If you care about the future of American rail, infrastructure planning, and transportation equity, consider subscribing to this channel. Your support helps us keep the conversation going around the projects shaping the next generation of mobility. Thanks for tuning in today, everyone.